Welcome back to Mini Makes. My name is Callie, and today we are making a really creamy and luxurious pink blush sauce. So this recipe is very, very similar to pasta alla vodka or vodka sauce. So if you love vodka sauce, you are certainly gonna love this as well. It's creamy, it's decadent, it's so simple to make, it takes no time to put together, and you probably already have all the ingredients for this on hand, which is a plus of course. So let's get right into it. But before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe, like, share, chat in the comment section, and follow me on social media for more recipes and additional content. So let's go over the ingredients. We have onions, we have a bunch of garlic, of course, lots of grated Parmesan cheese, a little bit of butter. I have some dried oregano, a little bit of Aleppo pepper. You don't have to use Aleppo pepper if you don't have it. You could use a pinch of red pepper flakes. I love using Aleppo. I'm an Aleppo pepper kind of girl because it's a little bit more mild and less spicy than a red pepper flake, and it also has some kind of citrusy undertones, which is really nice, but red pepper flakes will do the job. If you don't want it spicy, leave either out completely. We also have, of course, extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper. You can use any pasta of your choice. I'm just using these. I'm not sure what these are called, but this is what I'm gonna be using. I have some heavy cream, a can of tomato sauce, and a pot with high sides. So let's get right into it. Before you begin, you wanna get a nice hot pot boiling with a lot of salt in it, boiling salted water. I think they say you want your pasta water to be as salty as the Mediterranean Sea, so get that going before you start. So I'm going to turn my burner onto medium heat. I'm gonna add some extra virgin olive oil. And once this gets nice and hot, we're gonna add in the onions and get those sizzling. And I'll meet back up with you when it's in. Okay, so now that my oil is nice and hot, we're gonna go in with our onions. We'll add our garlic in a little bit. You don't really wanna add the garlic at the same time as the onions because the onions take longer to cook. We don't want the garlic to burn, so we'll add those in a little bit. But for now, in go the onions, and along with the onions, we're gonna use a big pinch of kosher salt. I always cook with kosher salt. I bake with kosher salt as well. And we're also gonna add in some black pepper, good amount of black pepper, and we'll add some more later as well. Okay, give this a toss, and now we're gonna cook these for just a few minutes until they start to get nice and translucent. Once they are, maybe 3/4 of the way finished cooking, we're gonna add in the garlic and cook that for another like minute and a half or so. So just keep an eye on them, and then we'll continue once these are nice and beautiful and translucent. Okay, so my onions have cooked down quite a bit. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add in all my garlic. And as you can see, I'm using a ton of garlic. I love garlic, I'm a garlic girl. I am not going to hide that. And now we're just gonna, let this sizzle all together for, I don't know, maybe another like minute or so. Garlic does not take long to cook, and I minced it pretty finely, so it'll cook quite quickly. And so we're just gonna keep stirring this, let this sizzle until it's nice and fragrant and nice and golden brown. Okay, so once my onion and garlic were finished cooking, I just added the oregano and the Aleppo and let that sizzle in the oil for like 10 seconds. You don't want to burn the dried herbs. And then I just added my tomato sauce. And so here we go. Right now I have my heat still on medium heat. Okay, so at this point, what you want to do is you want to add your pasta to the boiling water and cook your pasta a minute shy of whatever the package says is the time it needs to cook until it's al dente. So my pasta said to cook until 8 minutes for it to be al dente, so I cooked my pasta for 7 minutes, okay? The reason why we're gonna do it that way is because once the pasta is finished cooking and the sauce is done, we're gonna add the pasta into the sauce and we're gonna cook everything all together for a minute or so. And so at that point, the pasta will be finished cooking. So here I have this pot. As you can see, I'm just stirring away, and we want to cook this pasta sauce for like maybe 10 minutes or so, just until the sauce has thickened up quite a bit. I'll show you exactly what it looks like after 10 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna keep stirring away. This is also a good time to use like what are they called? The splatter tops because the tomato sauce is really gonna be bubbling. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep stirring this, and then we will add our last few ingredients, and then we're done. Okay, so 9 minutes later, and my sauce has thickened up quite considerably. You will know that your sauce has thickened up enough if you take your wooden spoon, drag it across, and if the sauce stays separate, that's how you know it's ready to go. All right, so at this point, I'm going to add in my cream. I turned my heat down to low, and I'm just gonna stir this for, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes or so. You really just want the cream to be nice and, you know, warmed up right now. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another good pinch of kosher salt. We want to add, you know, enough seasoning to this dish, and you wanna salt, you know, every layer of it. So you wanna salt the onions and the garlic, you wanna salt the tomato sauce, which we haven't done yet. So now is the time to salt this. And you can taste it later to make sure that you added enough sauce, but add, you know, a little bit for now, taste it later, see how much you need. You could always add salt, but you can't take it back. So I'm gonna keep just stirring this, and look at this. It's looking so beautiful already, and just wait till we add that cheese. Everyone loves parm. So I'm just gonna keep stirring this for another like 3 minutes or so, and it should get kind of nice and bubbly again, and it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna keep doing this. Okay, so about 2 minutes later, and my heavy cream is warmed through, and this is ready to go. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add in our pasta, our drained pasta. Just add that right in. I like to turn the heat back up to about medium high. And we're gonna cook this all together for about a minute or so. I also reserved some of the pasta water, which you always wanna do when you're making pasta. And I'm just gonna add a little bit for now of the pasta sauce, or of the water into the pasta sauce. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna kind of help thin out the sauce and kind of just make it a little bit more saucy. And after I cook this all together for another like 30, 45 seconds, if you feel like you need a little extra water, if your pasta needs to be more saucy, add more pasta water. So I always just kind of reserve a little bit more pasta water than I think I'm gonna need, but it's just always better to be safe than sorry. At this point, we're also gonna add our Parmesan cheese and our butter. The butter is just gonna be another element of like creaminess, and it's gonna give this pasta like a really nice like sheen to it, and it's gonna be great. So just stir this all together. And as far as how much cheese to put in, how much parm, that is entirely up to you. I don't think there is such thing as adding too much parm to this recipe. If you have some like fresh basil, you can add that at this point, or some parsley. I'm gonna garnish it later with a little bit of chopped parsley. Also, if you wanna make this more of a vegetarian dish, which typically I would probably do on like a weekday or something, adding some like frozen peas to the boiling water is a really easy way to literally put in no extra effort into this dish and get a little bit of greens out of this. I mean, you could also, what I do sometimes is saute some broccoli on the side and then just toss it in at the end. It's that simple. You know, whatever you want to do, it's gonna be great. Or just eat this like how it is now. It's going to be amazing. And so at this point, while we're kind of just stirring the pasta together with the sauce, what's happening is the pasta is finishing cooking, and it's also absorbing that flavor and that sauce, and it's just gonna make everything so much better. So next up, I'm gonna give you a close-up of just how creamy and luxurious and saucy this blush sauce really is. Okay, so we are back. I hope that close-up was helpful and you were able to see just how creamy and dreamy this pasta sauce really is. It's the perfect weeknight meal and everyone loves it. You are sure to love it as well. So, as always, for the full written recipe and instructions, head to my blog, WhenYouMakes.com. I'll put the link for that in the description box below. Click on the link, the recipe will come right up, and make this blush sauce. I promise you're gonna love it, and let me know what you think because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.